Welcome back to our Stoma podcast. My name's Sarah, I'm the lead Stoma nurse in Leeds, and today we are talking about diet with a stoma and blockage advice. And today I'm joined by our nurse Vicky and patient Jasmine, and we're going to have a conversation around this topic. So Jasmine, you've got an ileostomy, is that right?
Yeah.
So what sort of diet advice, if you don't mind me asking, was you given when you was discharged? Or
It was mainly no spicy food, not too much fizzy sweets. What else was there? There was, fizzy drinks was another one. Just be careful around fibre, not too high in fibre.
Yeah.
I think what I've kind of learnt is you can have everything in moderation or a smaller amount of what you might have usually had. I think maybe it's said to avoid pancaking, to avoid leaks and stuff like that, but I fairly tend to be balanced throughout the day, or if I know I'm going to be having something high in fibre at tea time, I'll kind of have the carbs throughout the day, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, perfect. And I think there can be quite a bit of scaremongering, particularly with an ileostomy. And let's just kind of just simplify between colostomy and ileostomy again. I know people will have watched the first ones maybe, but just with diet, Vicky. So colostomy and ileostomy.
So in terms of what they can eat, is that right, Sarah?
Yeah.
So with a colostomy, we would say you can eat and drink as you would do normally. There's no limitations to what you can and can't eat. Just to have a healthy balanced diet, fibre in the diet, just to reduce the risk of constipation there. And it's a little bit different with an ileostomy. So there's foods we sort of suggest to avoid just to reduce the risks of blockages. But we say to avoid things like seeds, pips, nuts, mushrooms, sweet corn, sort of skins on fruit and vegetables, just because they can potentially block the stoma. So we just say you can avoid them. Patients do still eat them and they are okay. But
and I think that's really important to say, because you know some people love corn on the cob, you know, and mushrooms, and we want you to kind of live your life as normal and enjoy what you would like to eat normally. So I guess it's kind of adapting to that. Is there any particular foods that you thought that you couldn't eat that you've like managed to eat, or?
I think it's kind of talking about veg-wise, the sweet corn. I did love sweet corn before I had it done, and to be fair, I've had it in moderation, and I think I got a little bit too brave with it, and it did end up causing me a blockage, which was, it's uncomfortable. It's not a nice experience, and obviously the advice around that is to try and drink a bit of hot water and stuff like that. Unfortunately, I had to go to hospital because it got the better of me.
It kind of
and then they helped me there and it unblocked.
And I suppose then what's the advice then that we'd give to kind of reduce the risk of a blockage?
so preventing the blockage, it's food advice. So with an ileostomy, it's particularly foods to particularly avoid. So things like nuts, seeds, pips, mushrooms, sweet corn, skins on fruit and vegetables. Although patients do still eat those and they are okay. But we also say to chew foods really well, cook them soft if you can, just so it's easy to digest and to reduce the risk of a blockage there. If a patient ever contacts us and say, I think I'm experiencing a blockage, I've not had output for a certain amount of hours, we always say to rest the bowel, so try and avoid foods, drinking clear fluids or fizzy drinks, just to see if that will release the blockage there. A bit of gentle mobilising if they can do, a bit of a gentle walk or massaging around the stoma, a bit of heat from like a hot water bottle or a heat pack, that can generally sort of release the blockage there. But obviously if they start to get sort of severe abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting, we say straight to A&E.
And you've obviously had that experience. So have you had like less severe blockages?
Definitely, I think I'm definitely more cautious of it, and if I notice a particular food, like say for example seeds and nuts and stuff like that, if I notice that it's slowing my output down, I kind of avoid that now and just not really tend to eat them kind of foods. I think when I even thought my output's slowing down and I've had this again, like the hot baths, hot drinks, the massaging definitely just tries to help.
Perfect.
And I think it's just important just to say as well, there's different types of blockages. So it can be caused by food. If you're quite new after surgery, it could just be scar tissue, or sometimes there can be a little twist in the bowel. So there's like different ones, and I suppose like Vicky's just said, it depends on the severity kind of thing. And then I suppose with diet, Jasmine, so like if you think to how you were when you came out to how you are now, is there a big difference, or do you feel like you've got a bit more confident, or have you kind of just learned along?
I think it is a trial and error, definitely at the start, and I think as you get used to having one, you kind of get in a routine of, I remember when I first came out, I'd stick to the same food that I knew wouldn't give me a high output because I hated it. I didn't
almost
like
like a safe food.
Yeah, like a safe food. But again, I think as I've got the more knowledge and older and advice and stuff, I've just tested a little bit. If I'm trying a new food, I'll always have a little bit to see how it reacts to my ileostomy, and then if I feel like it's okay, just slowly increase it. Yeah,
no, that's good. Well, well, thank you for sharing that. So that rounds up the end of today's podcast, and we will see you on the next one. If you have any questions or concerns and would like to speak to a stoma nurse, then please do contact our service on 0113 843 3715, or alternatively email lcht.stomaserviceleads@nhs.net.